Next up, Mohammad will be here to introduce our good friend Ari. So I see both of you on. Mohammad, I'll let you take it away with the introductions.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you so much. It's been interesting 2.5 hours. And I'll just remind the audience here, we've talked about technology and adoption of technology, and we've talked about automation and optimization with Bryson. We kind of focused about, we still talk about paper in the mortgage industry. And I like to say there's a river of paper going through every mortgage that's manufactured in the United States. We're leading, we're one of the leading, tree killers and climate change providers here. So maybe we can solve all of them, right, Ari, in this conversation?
We'd like to.
All right. So thank you, Ari, for joining. I really appreciate you being here because you are an integral part of the mortgage industry. A little bit backgrounder on our relationship, Tavant and Softworks AI. We've been together for a number of years. We've provided, we have an official partnership. We have provided solutions together to the mortgage industry, to the mortgage insurance industry, large lenders, small lenders, specifically as it relates to automation and optimization of the manufacturing pipeline. We recently also included Softworks AI's solution Trapeze in our digital loan factory, which is a new initiative that Tavant is working on this year and that we will debut a little bit later in the in Q2, a little bit later in Q2. So we'll talk a little bit about DLF as well. But before we dive into that, Ari, would you like to provide a brief about Softworks AI and your genesis?
Sure, Mohammed, thank you. And again, I really appreciate being invited on today. And I think we consider the partnership with Tavant very, very, very productive. It's a great partnership. And we look forward to doing a lot more optimization, automation in the mortgage space together. I think initially we started, maybe it was Genwith was the first client there, but basically we really were a research lab. We were the computer vision AI laboratory for City University initially. And we got into the business of trying to get machines to understand documents the way people do. And it's not simple because like people have a different way to, a lot of the document understanding was old school. It was template based, and it doesn't really work when you've got thousands and thousands of pay stubs that could be out there. If you talk about explanation of benefits, the way people parse documents, very different from the way that we're having machines do it. And we felt it was time to really automate that technology and to get the bots or the solutions we built to see and perceive the same way we do. That's not simple. For example, we worked on a mutual client, a mortgage insurance client, and the automation rates there are extremely high, but part of it comes from really a precision of requirements and understanding what you need to know. So we were really initially a computer vision lab that got focused on the mortgage industry because we saw it heavily manual, heavily paper-based, and it needed some of the same automation solutions we'd use to get a car to drive itself. We want that same smart technology used in mortgage, and we are seeing that happen. And with the systems that we have built or we're working on together with you are really meeting or exceeding human accuracy rates in many, many areas.
Thank you, Ari. So we have talked about touchless automation in this conversation as well as in the past. Do you want to kind of level set by kind of telling us what you understand from a software AI perspective? What is your view of touchless automation? What does it signify? How is it different from other?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up too. We recently presented with Forrester on the notion of no human in the loop. And when you talk about touchless automation, it really relates to human in the loop, no human in the loop technology. Do you need a human in the loop? You need a human in the loop if the bot's not sure that it got it right, or if it doesn't know that it got it right. So when you're running, I'm not going to say running amok, but if you're just throwing an OCR solution at a bunch of documents, that doesn't mean you know the information's correct. Can your decision alone based on OCR feedback? Probably not. So there has to be a notion of who's checking the machine's work, or how do I know the bot got it right? And unless you have a way of verifying it got it right, you need a human in the loop. We're pushing touchless automation. When we really started jumping into this space about 3 years ago, we saw a lot of the technology was non-cognitive. For example, OCR will give you the data from a document, but it doesn't know if the data is right, and it doesn't know if you can act on it. RPA, similarly, which is a very, very useful technology, will do things automatically, will grab some documents, it'll push documents, it'll move data, but it won't understand the data. If you want to start really optimizing or helping out the underwriter and the loan officer, you've got to understand the data. To do that, you've got to analyze the data, and you have to have a way to be sure you understood it correctly. And that comes, we have cross-validation and a whole bunch of technologies that we've been working on and others in the industry to be sure the bot knows it got it right, to be sure the machine can check its work independently and be sure that it's correct. And once you know you're correct, cross-validation is one such technology. To be sure all the data in the loan packet's consistent, tells the same story. Is the co-borrower zip code the same across all the data in this loan packet, right? So as soon as you can really check your own work, if the bot has another way to prove correctness, the notion of provable correctness, then you can start making decisions automatically and start to pull the human out of the loop. Just for example, the large mortgage insurance company that we're working on together, we see in production accuracy of above 99.5. Now, when we looked at ground truth data from that company and other companies, it's typically below 99.5. It's more 98.5 or 99%. So we're really getting bots to function at a level equal to or higher than human accuracy in this space. And that touchless comes from some awareness that the bot can check its work and prove when it's correct and know what it knows and what it doesn't know.
That's great, Ari. Thank you. So one of the things that I like about Softworks AI is that obviously you're not contained within that box of OCR and document classification and extraction. There is a semantic understanding of the documents that you're looking at and the ability to kind of find the best route or path for that document to be processed downstream, to kind of escape from the documents and live in the data. What other, there are certain nuances in the mortgage industry, right? When you get a loan package, you have multiples of the same documents in that package. What other types of things are you guys looking into that kind of crosses the boundary or the box of OCR and classification and extraction into an actual mortgage semantics?
Right. Thanks for asking that. So of course, you want to understand the message. You would say, does this loan tell a consistent story? And one of the things we've been dealing with is versioning. And when you really want to understand the terms of the loan, you've got to auto version it. You've got to say, well, which closing disclosure is final? Which loan estimate's final? Which 1003 is final? Do they all, if you take the final versions, do they all give you the same result? Do they all tell the same story? Could be that one is a dupe of the other. So when you get into dupes, it's just quite interesting. You might have 3 closing disclosures that all appear to be final. Let's say there's 6 closing disclosures in a loan packet. 3 of them appear to be final, but you know what, 2 are faxes and 1 is the original. And the only way you know the one is the original, a human would pick it up right away, is that one signature is in blue ink and in the fax, everything's the same exact print tone. Well, unless you really are a computer vision company, you can understand what is the actual writing going to look like. Is it going to be, can I measure the stroke color and sense that it's a different color? People would pick that up right away. If you want the bot to figure out original versus dupe, it also has to color sense the signature and figure out what's going on. So this is a notion of, again, trying to get the same level of accuracy, level of automation from a bot as from a human means that the machine has to perceive and see what you're saying. If it doesn't see the color stroke, if it doesn't see the version, it won't be able to decide the loan the same way that a human would. Versioning is an important part of that. It's one of many things you need to do to get the loan right. If you get the version correct, now you know the final terms of the loan and you can start to decision the loan automatically.
Thank you, Ari. I think we are pretty much running out of time, but before we end today, I wanted to kind of give the folks that continue to the end of the session a little bit of a preview of the digital loan factory that we have been working on. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes, Mohammad, I can see your screen.
Yep.
So this is a workstation that we've been working on for underwriters. As you know, underwriters have there's an interesting bunch of people who basically are using LOSs to hunt for documents. And what we're trying to do for them is basically escape the world of documents through the work that Ari and team are doing into the world of data and analytics on top of the data. And so the view that an underwriter gets is about the loan summary, the income related to the loan, the appraisal related to the loan in digital form, and rather than hunting and looking at specific fields within a specific document. This basically is an automation capability, a touchless mortgage pathway for a certain cohort of loans that we take from the point of submission It goes through an automated set of steps from invoking onboarding, invoking document translation, classification, extraction, and translation into a digital loan file, invoking income calculation services, credit and asset review services, appraisal services, and getting all that data in and displaying them in a very, very intuitive visual form so that underwriters can go through and basically underwrite a line and get to a loan and get to a decision in the fastest manner possible. This is a very, very small preview in minutes rather than hours, and we can spend hours talking about this, but anybody interested in kind of a demo of our digital loan factory that has Softworks AI as a core component of the solution, would love to give you a walkthrough. With that, thank you, audience, and again, Brad and Debbie, over to you, and hope we've made it in time. Thank you.
Did make it.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job. Hey, Ari, before you jump off, will you pick your favorite number between 1 and 148?
Absolutely. Let's say I'd make it 118. That works.
118 works, and that is, just screenshot it out. So I have some random generator tool in here. Juanita Smith is 118. Juanita, I will reach out to you directly, but congratulations. You've won our next raffle that we gave away, a brand new Apple iPod Pro or iPad Pro, excuse me, or an iPhone 12, whichever you'd like. Anyway, I will reach out to you directly. Thank you for attending. Ari and everyone, Mohammad, thank you so much for being on.